Hey, Star Wars Wikias, I'm Steve Blum. I play Zeb Aurelios on Star Wars Rebels. And you don't. Eh.
First question comes from Rancor88. I'm
Awesome.
going to read it off here. He says, "Can you talk a little bit about the process of coming up with Zeb's voice and his accent?"
It's my morning voice. It's how I wake up and yell at my children. No, we started with Zeb. We knew he was going to be big and deep because he's huge and he's purple, and for me that just means big and deep. And they gave me a list of different possible accents to try, and I think it went everywhere from English to Irish to Eastern European. We tried a whole bunch of different things. And my first instinct was to go with like a deep Cockney for him, so almost unintelligible type things. Because of his mouth structure, that's where I usually start. But it would have been unintelligible, so we played around a little bit, and I ended up throwing in a little bit of Northern England, a little bit of Southern England, a little bit of Kiwi, a little bit of Australian, and this amalgamation, in my mind at least, just became a bad English accent that worked perfectly for his size and shape. So.
I like it. It works. Now, we know that Zeb is one of the last of his kind who escaped the Empire on his home world.
Yes.
How does being one of the survivors affect the way that he fights the Empire?
Well, I think that the way it affects him is the way it affects all of us. We have nothing to lose. We have been wronged by this giant machine that has taken over and has profoundly impacted our lives. We don't even know if Zeb has anyone left of his kind in the very beginning of this series. So he's got nothing to lose, and I think that that is part of what forms this strong bond with the other band of the other people in the rebels, and gives them a sense of family and a sense of purpose. So.
And he really likes smashing bucket heads, right?
I love bashing bucket heads. It's my favorite thing to do. I do it at home. I've got two helmets and I just bash them together just for the sound of it. Sort of like on Monty Python when they've got the coconuts and they're walking about.
I like it. I like it. Now, here's a question from Nivlikanator. He wants to know, how would you like to see Zeb develop throughout the series?
I want him to get a girlfriend at some point. No.
Maybe someone here?
Maybe, who knows? She could have Laku. It'd be all right. I don't know. I love how Zeb started off already. I think it's amazing that he's got so much character, and he's such a broad character to begin with. He's this insanely skilled warrior, and yet he can be reduced to a sulking 8-year-old when he's scolded by Hera. There's already so much to work with there. All I really want is just to see him, to learn more about his past, to those vulnerable moments. And for me, that makes it most interesting on a character of his size and his level of skill and ferocity, that he can have those moments of vulnerability. And I look for that in characters. As I played Wolverine before, and I love that in him for the same reason.
Here's a question from Apparently British.
Mm-hmm.
They'd like to know how much you know about your character's backstory and how that affects your performance.
I don't know anything about my character's backstory, and they do that intentionally. And we're all learning. We're going through this universe along with fandom, and we might get a few months of advance notice because we're recording it, but they don't really reveal that to us. They keep it very secret for. They want us to be in that moment of discovery. They want it to be organic as we flesh this out too. So we're all in this together. That's the beauty of the show, I think, is as a fan also, I sit back and I watch the other guys performing, and I want to see how these characters develop too. So we are literally all in this together, and I think that's what makes Star Wars so special.
Tell me if you have a favorite Star Wars character, a non-Rebels Star Wars character, either maybe from the original trilogy or the Clone Wars.
I love R2-D2. Dude, it's funny, the non-verbal characters. I've started my career in creature voices, and so just to hear how much emotion and how much he can convey with, if he is in fact a he, I don't know if that's even been established, how much he can convey without words to me and without a mouth. I mean, that to me is an amazing thing. That's an amazing achievement in animation or in robot building or of any kind of character. I think that's fascinating, and so I look for those nuanced moments of nonverbal conveyance, and I think that was also present in when I saw the screening last night in Rebels. Just to have those moments where you just see the eyes darting about, and in CG we don't always get those nuances captured, and they capture that in that. So apart from my voice, it wasn't even necessary for the most powerful moments for me. So that I think that kind of seats me in there as a fan. I feel like I earned some fan cred by enjoying the parts that I'm not actively participating in just as much. Yeah.
All right, one final question. Are there any other Star Wars characters that you enjoy doing the voices of, like Chewbacca, for instance? Would you give us a little?
But I'm not good at it. No, I did it for the first episode here, and you'll see that. But yeah, doing that live after speaking for 3 hours, it's not going to sound good at all. Yeah. Thank you.
We can't wait to hear more of you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.